Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day. Just testing the mic. Want to make sure that works. Okay. So, the reason why I am doing this YouTube live stream is just to get back to the flow of things. And guys, I have a idea for you. Be consistent and never give up. But I haven't been back in the channel for the past few months. I've been relatively busy. And the focus on this conversation right now is to discuss micro strategy. Yes, I've talked about it in the past, and it's time where it's going to be looking very interesting as to why I am back on this live stream. Okay. My price prediction for MicroStrategy, and I'm just going to get through it, is between $400 to $4,000. I know the spread is ridiculous, guys, but this guy, every time it hits around that 400-ish level, MicroSailor just sells that to buy more Bitcoin or to create these new um, MicroStrategy derivatives, which some people like is favorable to them. A lot of people don't like it. I get it. I am at both sides. I understand both sides because you want a higher share price. And on the flip side, we get a higher Bitcoin price. And you're like, okay, what do I do here? Anyway, so let me just discuss and take a focus on the MicroStrategy trades at a 70% premium to Bitcoin and help understand what it means for you or for you guys who are investing. And just to be transparent, I do own a little bit of shares of MicroStrategy, not that much to boast around because he keeps on going and selling that NAV premium out to oblivion. But we will just talk about what's going on right now. Okay, intro. All right, let me start with a rough introduction. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something fascinating, why MicroStrategy, a software company turned Bitcoin well, is trading at nearly 70% above its net asset value. That means if you bought a share of MSTR today, you're paying way more than the value of the Bitcoin it actually holds. So why are investors doing it? Is it smart? Is it dangerous? Well, let me break it down. And maybe if you're in that third category, it can be a little bit annoying. All right, so let's talk about the background on what is NAV. Simple definition. Let's define it. It means net asset value. For MicroStrategy, it's basically the value of all the Bitcoin they held divided by the number of shares. If MSTR holds 20 billion in BTC and has 20 million shares, that's $1,000 per share in NAV. But if the stock trades at $1,700, yes, 1,700, that's a 70% NAV. Section one, okay. In 2020, let's go back to MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy from way back. In 2020, MicroStrategy co-founder Marcus Seller pivoted the company to become a Bitcoin treasury play. He raised billions through equity, debt, and even preferred stock and used it to buy BTC. This makes MSTR a kind of leveraged Bitcoin ETF with software revenue as a bonus. Now, how did premium forms? I wish I had a chart of MSTR versus BTC performance, but if you are on TradingView, you could definitely go check that chart out yourself. I don't have it on my screen right now because I am just live, guys. But let me talk a brief second about it. Investors aren't just paying for the Bitcoin, they're paying for leverage. Sailor uses borrowed money to buy BTC. The second thing investors are paying for is access. MSTR trades on the stock market, no crypto wallet needed. So for some of you guys who have a headache of using your maybe hardware key or whatever, or don't want to go through the idea of security, get these ETFs, get the MSTR stock, and boom, you're fine to go. Get your trading account, whether it's Robinhood or whatever, and you see what I mean. And a third thing that investors are paying for is confidence. They believe Sailor has become the poster child for long-term BTC bullishness. And that confidence gets priced into the actual price of stock. Now, let's talk about the risk of the premium. Yes, there are risks to anything, guys. And I'm going to talk about the red flags and risk associated. But here's the flip side. If Bitcoin drops, MicroStrategy drops even harder. That's one risk. It's common sense. That's because it's leverage. Plus, if the premium gets too high, new buyers may get wrecked when it snaps back to NAV. Think of it like playing or paying a $2 for a $1 bill because you believe it will soon be worth $3. Okay, you get it? Simple, simple as that. Now let's go to how to calculate the premium. This is basic, as I mentioned earlier. If you want to track this yourself, you can head over to bitcointreasuries.net, find MicroStrategy, look at market cap, and look at value of Bitcoin held. Divide them, and boom, you get the premium. Today it's hovering around 70%. Now, I want to go into depth briefly between the MSTR versus Bitcoin ETF because I think those are interesting. There is about 5 to 10 Bitcoin ETF products. And guys, we're going to see a lot more when it comes to these different cryptocurrencies. I've been hearing rumors of this one for Pudgy Penguins. I kid you not, which is a art thing on the blockchain. I can't remember that technical term. And that's why I'm making these videos, to get my head and mental state back into presentation. Anyway, so let's talk about MSTR and IBIT ETF. We're going to talk about ARKB and GBTC. So why would someone buy MSTR instead of a spot Bitcoin ETF like IBIT or ARK? Well, here's why. MSTR has leverage. Yes, leverage. You're not just paying a one NAV premium. It also has potential software earnings, which they do have a software business, but that is not to guarantee. So put that in the trash right away. This all Bitcoin backed. Maybe they do come up with a good Bitcoin software tool that's great for traders and developers. Who knows? Because right now they are in the market of building all types of Bitcoin products. But I think we will see a product that will become very interesting where this price of MSTR will just skyrocket. But remember, let me go back. ETFs usually trade close to NAV again. MSTR does not. That's both an opportunity and a risk to itself. The risk is we get a down market, guys. We are in the toilet pretty fast. Okay, so let's talk about should you buy? And this is not financial advice. All of this is just analysis and my opinion. Well, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, it might be a good idea. If you want extra upside through leverage, that might be a good idea as well. And if you believe in Sailor's strategy, then maybe. But if you want clean exposure to BTC, just buy a spot ETF or just buy Bitcoin on the coin itself. This isn't financial advice, just information to help you decide. All right, so let's step back and break this all down into our outro. If this breakdown helps you understand the premium of MSTR, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Drop a comment. Are you buying MSTR, Bitcoin, or sitting this out? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So that was pretty cool, guys. And yeah, that was my notes and my analysis of what I think about MSTR. And I'm going to give you my feedback and opinion of where the price could go within the next $400 to $4,000. If we see Bitcoin going through a really huge price appreciation of around $200,000 this year, and Michael Saylor does not buy any more Bitcoin, well, clearly we could see prices skyrocket past $1,000. I won't be surprised to look at it being around 1,500. But this guy, what kind of annoys me is that he keeps on buying more Bitcoin whenever the price of the stock is between the range of $400 to $500. So if we do see a price of around $400 by the end of the year and Bitcoin has reached $200,000, I know some investors are going to be like sour. But hey, they keep on telling you, you buy more Bitcoin, you have more Bitcoin. But I also wish there was a vehicle to say, okay, if I buy more Bitcoin, if he's buying more Bitcoin, I want to take that Bitcoin out. And maybe in the future, we'll see a dividend or payback from the actual MSTR stock. That's an idea, maybe. I don't know. But if you're saying we are getting more Bitcoin, I think investors will want to pivot that conversation towards, okay, let me buy that Bitcoin out so I can take it from my stock as well. And that would like blow the stock away to oblivion through the highest heights. All right, guys, that was just my short ramble on this one. It will be more interesting in future videos as I get more in depth with the actual conversation, because this is definitely a hot trending topic of discussion. And again, I'm not pro or con MSTR. I just see an opportunity where we can talk more about what's going on here. And if you guys have comments, put in the comment section. I'm definitely more than interested to hear, but this is not a Bitcoin only channel. I'm going to talk about things that are pretty interesting or that I feel that it's worth knowing, because I like to expand our horizon into other technologies. And don't get Bitcoin confused with crypto. Bitcoin is its own asset class, whereas crypto is its own thing when it comes to technology. So I don't use the word scam because I think it's stupid. It's you're limiting your mindset towards just one area, whereas you could broaden it a bit. Obviously, just scams in the cryptocurrency space, but to call Solana a scam, Cardano a scam, it kind of brings into mind the person's, I want to say nicely, but I cannot think of the right term. It kind of like, it makes one a bit ignorant, because especially this administration giving a green light to a lot of projects. And during the past administration with the securities, SEC clamping down on a lot of things, it just wasn't a good look. But now if the SEC kind of having a pivot where they're more open towards the crypto as an asset class, makes things have more reputable value. Okay, I don't want to talk a lot, but that's just my 6 cents here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.